the apron on right. There we go. There we go. Right, so where's my chopping knife? Convict, my finest of fellows, the most marvellous of convicts, you are of course always first. It's the afternoon now. A marvellous good afternoon to you. How are you feeling today? I saw the felling of many zombies. Fell at the might of your hand. Honestly though, I think I have a point, you know, watching you. Have a look at Soap's character. I genuinely had, I saw you turn your head and I thought, put a mohawk there. Thank you for the... No, it's fine, don't worry. You deserved them. It was marvellous fun and you were there entertaining us all. Don't even fret. Welcome on it. In fact, you know what? I'm going to have a seat for a minute and chat to you. Hang on a second. Grab a seat. There we go. Oops, a doodle. Right, let's have a convict chat. Oh, there we go. So how are you feeling today? I'm impressed with your dedication that both you and Omega were in short out of the count. Your little one has just put more colour in your hair. Without giving away anything, convict, you and I are of a similar ilk, shall we say. I've not had my hair coloured in, but one could easily do so. There's a pic in our chat. I shall have a look. But honestly, you should give that a thought. I could well see you doing a cosplay stream of either the Call of Duty single players or just the multiplayer. I think it'd be rather good. Just a thought. I'm impressed, however, that I've done this before as well. When you've woken up after, shall we say, a heavy evening, my first thoughts always turn to cleaning as well. Yeah, and I feel like cleaning now. I need to be cleaned, or to do some cleaning. Small dram of the coffee. Very mild. I only drink mild coffee these days. Perhaps inspired a little bit by it does, doesn't it? It was a cathartic release almost. In being able to sort of, I don't know, you sort of cleanse around you, sort of cleanse within yourself, and then altogether just feel better generally. You have actually realised I'm going to race to grab my, just in case anyone tries to redeem a sonnet. I haven't got the Kindle with me. Hang on. Hold the fort for a second for me, convict. One moment. Maybe I should go to the nearest shop and get meatballs. Right, I'm back. Oh, thank you for holding down the fort. There we go, let's pop that there in case we need it. So yes, no, it was, and the streamer that Omega sent us on to, a great stream that. It's there are some phenomenally, I can't count myself among them, but there are some phenomenally talented folk out there. And I was reflecting, because I had the chance to speak with my grandmother today. We try and call her every week. Just seeing that I burnt myself yesterday. Oh, have you? Oh, dear me. Just be careful with yourself, convict. We need you around and whole and in one piece. Not in many pieces. That will not do us. That will not help. Let's, just whilst we're getting warmed up, I can tell people what we're doing in a moment. Let's start trimming the outsides. Yes, you've seen multiple times. I'm going to eventually, I think, have to do a YouTube edit of all the times I've basically stuffed this up in the stream and either burnt myself or set something on fire or something, anything of that nature, because there's been quite a lot of it. There we go. Right. And as you say as well, when you're cooking and baking and things, having a little burn mark here and there is almost par for the course. It's sort of, congratulations, you're part of the club now. In fact, follow me, folks. You're now going to get ringside sink view. This is top twitch stuff, this, isn't it? Washing vegetables. That's a good point, actually. I've never questioned whether or not a rhubarb is a vegetable or a fruit. I actually don't. I think it's fruit, technically speaking. Perhaps with a more savoury gist to it. But because this is all very fresh, I'll give it a scrub it up. And now, of course, my fine fellow, after you and I had toiled many hours, and indeed on quite a frustrating day for yourself especially, but I am glad you got your PS4 working again. That could have been hugely frustrating. We finally figured out this business with the adding of people. Rhubarb is a vegetable often cooked. Oh, okay. You know, I knew it was perennial. But there you go. So I'm in fact demonstrating here how you could have vegetables with your morning breakfast. Although at some point we really must make either a rhubarb pie or a rhubarb crumble. I love rhubarb crumble. The only problem is that I can quite literally just sort of eat and eat and eat when it comes to crumble, and just sort of leave with the entire thing. And people sort of, if you've got guests, will say, "Where the hell's it gone?" Just say, "The owl's taken it. The owl has it. He's wandered off with it." Right, that's ringside view. Let's go back. Hang on. Shake my rhubarb. There we go. Bit of rhubarb shaking. For the Twitch filters, that is literal, that's not metaphorical. Rhubarb shaking. Don't have any of that here. There we go. I'm going to start with this as well, just because the pesto requires obviously zip in terms of cooking, whereas this we can get gently onto the boil and have it going on in the background. So without further ado, and if you fancy doing this, yes, yesterday sounds like it was troubling and tiresome for you. So I appreciate if you ever fancy doing this, you know the score. You're a man of the kitchen. Doesn't need to be anything more fancy than a centimetre chunk, really. And what we're going to do is just go through each of our stalks, keep an eye out for any bad bits. Although these are so fresh, if any of it was bad, I'd be and here he is, the man of whom James Bond has no rival, a man who could flatter a woman in the middle of a volcano erupting, with bad guys around them, with nothing more than a toothpick and a pitchfork. It's the man himself. It is the master of all phoenixes. It is Omega Phoenix. How are you, my friend? The super seductor? Super whiskey drink. I couldn't drink as much whiskey as you, though, my friend. Perhaps in an aeon gone by, but not anymore. Highly impressed indeed. And yes, such great and seductive techniques as saying, "Look at this." You're paying for it now. I like the fact that we managed to raid that young lady who was doing frightfully well in her stream. I love the fact that you mentioned that actually you don't quite remember passing out in the middle of it. Do you know, maybe I could do that comedy. I do openings for people. Like, you give me wrestling characters, I shall do their introductions, just perhaps not quite as they would expect it. So it's in the blue corner, from Tennessee, a man that looks like he lost a fight with a lorry that had a hive of bees on the front of it. It's Ted. I don't know any wrestler names. Ted the wrestler. I think there we are. We did raid someone. I've forgotten the name. Apparently I was a nightmare with my wife last night. Oh no. Some remedial love and attention might be needed. Oh, thank you. Yes, indeed. The hair colour should have given it away, really. But as you do tremendously well, and we all toddle in. Yes. Anyone know any famous wrestlers? I can't get past Ted, unfortunately. So let's start with our centimetre chunks of rhubarb. Undertaker. I'll do an introduction. Where's the Undertaker from? 466. I'm going to need my calculator. Right, hang on. So, I've got, oops, let's take that off. So I've got 466 for today. Which means, let's get our ratios right. A hole in the floor. Death Valley, California. Blimey, okay, so it would be a case of, ladies and gentlemen, from California, that sunny bit on the other bit of America, which everyone thinks is a bit loopy, comes a man whose profession is not matched by his name, for in fact I dare say he knows nothing about mortuary skills, or the burying of individuals, a solemn and humble task. But nevertheless, here he is, from a hole in the floor, named for its mortuary nature. We give you the marvellous, the oaf, the bringer of dead people, the Undertaker. Maybe I don't have a future in this. Just maybe. So if I've got 466 and my recipe calls for 500, I've got 93% of the ingredients. Bringer out of dead people. I think we'll maybe if I need most of the orange, so it's about 93%. So I'll do most of a large orange, and then. Well, I mean, I always thought that was a ridiculous amount of sugar anyway, so I'm going to ballpark that at 30, so... But we're pretty close. Pretty close, I'll just wing it at the end. Yeah, that's all right. I'll put the... If this works, I'll put the finalised version onto the Discord channel, and then people can enjoy it from there. I like less sugar than more, just because... Rhubarb's brilliant tangy taste, I don't think, should be overtaken by the sugary side of it. Oh, thank you very much, Comfort. It was very good of you. So let's, without further ado, we shall get this going, I think, because there isn't a great deal more apart from getting the correct pan, not ruining the... No, that's too small. Hang on, let's get a big one. Let's get a Whopper. There we go. These bang, crash. Hang on, I'll quietly bang and crash for poor Omega's head. Hang on, we'll do this nice and quietly. There we go. Quiet stream, gentle stream. There we go. In fact, if you type in ! commands, it will give you all of them, including if you ever need to lurk, chaps. I've added something for you. So if you just try ! lurk. Just see what happens. Oh, it should do anyway. Commands plural, I think. If it doesn't work, I'm going to be... There we go. So you've got all the commands there. And if you try ! lurk, if you ever need to toddle off, there you go. So swap that out. Pop that there. I rather like that because it just lets people, even if they've just got to do it for a minute, it's just a bit of fun, isn't it? So what we're starting with then is our root. Ah, that's what I'm missing. I don't need a lemon. I need an orange. Ape. So I'll just see how this looks compared to the totality. Oh, it's a bit dark, isn't it? Hang on. Aha! Forgot the light bulbs. That'll help. So there we go. Got our rhubarb. So we essentially are going to combine everything in here and then bring to the boil. That's why if you ever see this in the supermarket and you fancy giving this a go, trust me, it is about as straightforward as you can get. Of all the recipes that I'll probably do on here, this one is, strictly speaking, the easiest. Maybe the exception actually of the pesto that we're about to do as well. There we go. So, next song. Okay. Unfortunately, because I'm down here, Comet, on the mobile, that's probably the only one that won't work with the songs. If we're upstairs and gaming and it's not for, like, say, the RimWorld playthrough. No, no, no. Feel free. I need to. It'd be helpful if you did actually, because I need to see what works, what doesn't. Because I think, for example, there's a bingo one. What's a super moderator? I don't know. What is a super moderator? I haven't got a clue. Is this one of those moments where you're going to have to tell me that you should... there is no... Clearly, I've put this in place, and I perhaps need to go back and look at it, because... Ooh! Hey, look at that! Didn't know you could do that. I clearly put a lot of things in, and maybe I need to go and work out what exactly it is I've put in place. I know, Omega, most people when they say, how long have I known you? Dear God, it feels longer than that. I take that as being quite the normal, especially when I'm, you know, for example, in the middle of you attempting to play a computer game, telling you to release the attack cheater, when that is clearly not one of the options available. But I happen to, you know, it's a great seductive method, I feel. It certainly will, you know, it will sharpen the attention of your date, if nothing else. And perhaps indeed if there is an attack cheater, there will be nothing else that happens after that. That one doesn't work. No, I can see it's not doing anything, is it? Thank you, Convict. Feel free to, you know, rattle through as many as you feel like or don't feel like, and I'll make a note. Add points is not working. Oops, try not to drop your orange. Because what's interesting, I will often put this with a light breakfast, but of course, as Convict has pointed out this today, this is a vegetable, not a fruit, which is quite unusual in that respect. My garlic grating technique coming in here. In fact, I'm going to need this in a minute. So, let's get... Yesterday it would have been a yes, but today it's a yep. Is that to the attack cheater? I wonder who on earth made that game. Yes, perhaps I put something in place that needs a little more exploration and understanding on my part. So here we are, to aid your headaches, gents, some ASMR orange squeezing. There we go. I've just squeezed orange juice onto a calculator. That's probably not going to help it a great deal. There we go. Whoops. Spraying it on the wall now. Hang on, we're back to your seducing game. I'm spraying it on the wall. How dare you? Whoop. Open stuff. I seem to have a lot of commands that I've incidentally put in that don't really have any relevance or bearing, do I, chaps? You have to go through and have a look at that. I suppose open store would be for people, I don't know, maybe selling merchandise or something, since we're not doing that. Don't need that. Oops. So, continue instead. That was meant to open stream. Oh. This needs a bit of work, clearly. At least the lurk one works. I was happy with the lurk. There we go. So, one orange done. Let's find our sugar. Whoops, easy. Right. Now, I'm not a fan of a lot of sugar, so I'm going to start with less and work up. So, The original that I tried calls for 100 grams, which I think is just bonkers. So I'm going to start with a far more measly 30 grams. Because if needs be, I can add a bit more in and go up to maybe 40. I'm not. You see, I don't even know what a super mod is. I thought you had moderators and that was it. I'm perhaps somewhat perplexed and have absolutely no good answer, chaps, as to what that's referring to. I may also go back and speak to the lovely Waffle, because it was Waffle that pointed me in the direction of the stream elements process. But I think he's got something far more nifty in place. And last but not least, as well as sugar, orange juice and the rhubarb itself. Whoops, daisy. 2 tablespoons of water. No, neither do I have no idea, Omega. There are certain things in my stream setup where I'm not 100% sure where they've come from. So just for a second, let's just do some ASMR bubbling. There we go. Let's bring it in closer, shall we? Oh, there we go. Lovely stuff. There we are. There's our rhubarb. There's our earthquake camera technique. Which can probably do that. Right. Oops. Oopsie daisy. A bit more gas than that. Thank you very much. There we go. Quick sip. Very kind of you to ask, thank you. She's super. She's currently upstairs working on a particular project, a very arty one. Very excited about it, actually. Can't wait to see how that comes out. She's having a whale of a time. She's going to come down at some point, but she's in the thick of it. She's in the fray, so I shall not disturb her right now. What I'll do is gently start to put together. And not even to do with, Twitch or emotes or anything like that. It's a completely new product. I'm very, very excited. I may be more excited than she is, possibly. I do tend to get very excited by these things. So here we go. Let's just show you what's what. Nothing's really going to happen with this bit for about 8 minutes or so. So I'll just tip you in here. So what we've got is the rhubarb's in its base of orange juice and water and sugar, and I've somehow moved that spoon with the power of my mind. Think it's only with stream elements, the super mods. Okay. Well, I mean, I'll be honest, I think moderators can moderate as, everything, can't they? I'm not quite sure you need to be. Well, I consider you all super. So, I should tell you right now, I consider my moderators entirely super people. So there we go. So we'll turn around and have a look at that again in a second. So let's pan you around. You need food. You're the only mod. That's true. I've got NWKB is also a mod, but he and Julio have been terribly busy, and we've missed their good company for a while recently. But I do hope to see them again soon. I hope they stay well. I had last night's bangers and mash earlier. Very nice. Well, what we're going to do, I think, is spaghetti and meatballs at some point. Possibly a heavy meat chili and a salad for dinner. And I can tell you that in terms of streaming, whilst I measure up some ingredients here and tell you what I'm doing, I've obviously got Convict, The Pleasure of Your Company tomorrow. Then, on Wednesday, Kimberler, hello, how are you? Don't apologise at all, welcome on in. Are you having a good Sunday? Just going to drop this, I freaking... Oh. Convict does have your kindness is only matched by your content in its excellency. Oh, that's what my coffee machine thinks as it gently washes itself. Kimberler, how is your weekend going? We are gently stewing some rhubarb, which is just starting to come to the boil behind the camera. The coffee machine will stop cleaning itself in a minute, I promise. Always times it like that. It's marvellous. Anyway, as we do that, we're going to move on to our pesto in our lovely little Korean bowl. I realise I've just entirely forgotten what it was I was talking about. I've distracted myself. I can see... Okay, now we're in the wrong stream. Hang on, Omega. I mean, this is a flashback. We're demonstrating nuts on stream. I can't be doing that. So I'm putting, in short, all basil I've got in. I'm having a chilled one. Too hot to do anything. That's also another reason why I picked this one, Kimberley, is because there's not a massive amount of oven work, or I mean, there will be later when I have to sanitize some jars. But for now, it's been so warm. Just do a little bit of almost preparatory work instead. So that's 58 grams for the pesto. I will remember what I was saying in just a moment. What was I saying? Oh, come on, brain, don't tell me. Aha! I have it, I've remembered. This week I'm going to be joining Convict on a Monday for his marvellous Reaching Affiliate stream. On Wednesday I'm hopefully going to demonstrate why you'll never need McDonald's chicken select again, because we're going to make them from scratch with no oil, with very little unhealthy in it, and we're going to serve it with a side of sweet potato fries. We're also going to test it both in the oven and in the air fryer, which will be deployed behind us. It's not right now. So that's going to be Wednesday. And then on Thursday, we're going to be back for another chill out in our little RimWorld stream. That's going to be at 8 o'clock. And I even know, well, that does sound, well, it's going to be, and how we do it, it's also good if there are any gym bunnies out there, of which you can tell I am not a gym bunny. Possibly I should be. Because when you take out all the superfluous ingredients, what you've got, and how we do it, is we take a chicken breast, we flatten it out as though you're going to butterfly it, or you're going to perhaps use it in a sort of rolled saltimbocca sort of way. And saltimbocca, by the way, we'll do at some point too. It's chicken rolled in Parma ham with a stuffing centre. So you end up rolling it almost like a Swiss roll, and then you cut, so you end up with just these little circles of chicken with, I like an apricot stuffing in the middle for this, and then with Parma ham on the outside, which you can just fry very gently. Mrs. Al's not a fan of butter, but you could do it in a butter, so you're sort of tossing it over just to give it a little crispy outside, and then you serve that with some root vegetables. You are, I promise, away and singing. Indeed, if you were me, you probably are singing. How much basil have I got? Not that much actually, 119 grams. We're going to need the calculator again. So that takes us through to Thursday. I'm going to be taking the weekend off because it'll be the 8-year anniversary of when Mrs. Owl and I first started to attempt to woo her. So I will be spending my weekend with her exclusively. We shall just be enjoying each other's company. You're not even a fan of McDonald's. Well, Omega, maybe I can convince you away from, I don't know, poor chicken of any variety. I'm not a chef. I have a hidden job, which I keep anonymous as per my face, although my face really is more a case that I have a face for radio, as the great Terry Wogan once said. Hello, Harvey. How are you? Foreigner Harvey. Are you well? Are you enjoying your Sunday? Welcome on in. We've got Omega here, Kimberler and Convict, I think. In fact, I know Convict is here. We may have some other people too, but hello to you too if you're just lurking. I hope you're having a marvellous Sunday. You have caught us just finishing off some stewing of some rhubarb, so let me just turn you around. Thank you very much, Omega. It's very kind of you. So here we are. I'm super, thank you. I've had a very, very relaxed weekend after an appallingly busy week. So I'm particularly enjoying myself. And Kimberler, I've not forgotten. I do this. Have you ever watched Billy Connolly as a comedian? And here we are, I'll show you this as I natter. He had this great technique where he would segue completely away from his joke. And then half an hour later, he'd come back to it as though he'd never forgotten it. I'm less classy than that and just forget generally, but I will remember. So Kimberler, I am not a chef, but I'm very fortunate that I've had parents who very much brought us up on home cooking. There was next to no There's blood. Oh dear. Harvey, go look after yourself. Yeah, mate, grab yourself a tissue. So we're doing our stewed rhubarb there. That's going to be stewing for another 3 minutes. In fact, coming back to a point Kimberler made about it being so warm, I've just stood near the hob and it's absolutely roasting. I'm glad I'm not alone, Kimberler. Sometimes I need the prod to remind myself where I was. Let's tidy up as well. Mrs. Owl's come to join us. Hello, my love. I was just telling the guys what the plan was. Convict, of course, is here and gives tips. He's also worked as a baker. So when we did jam making, he spotted that I was taking the thermometer out, which changed things greatly. And Mrs. Owl's and Kimberler says hello, my love. How's the art going? All done?
None for today, apart from your stuff.
Apart from my stuff. So I was just telling the guys, and they've very kindly always such a happy meeting anniversary on this weekend coming up. So then after that, we are on the 17th. Lottie is doing a charity stream, so I'll just stir this as I'm chatting away.
I'm going to chop up a watermelon.
Oh, thank you. Mrs. Owl's chopping us up a watermelon. And as well, we have pesto on the go. Oh, hang on, I'm going to demonstrate the... da, 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 da. That's lovely. It's from stage left, a watermelon.
Where's that big tub that...
Where's the... Oh, hang on.
Oh, the breadstick.
No, it's all right, the bread's not in it. I put it in a plastic.
Sorry, I don't mean to come into the middle of all of this.
No. This is chilled Sunday. There's very little action-packed... Convict says he loves the melon. Or rather, he says he loves your melon. Yeah, hang on, there's a carry-on moment here. Oh, matron. Oh, love my melon. It's honestly, we have a... Oh, hang on, you need a knife, don't you?
It's okay.
You got it? Yes, we tend to be a pair of chefs here, and we'll occasionally sue each other.
No, I'm more often the Sue.
Oh, no, well, when you do your... In fact, let's turn this back, because it's now reaching the stewing point. When you do your pasta bake, I step right back, because that thing is a thing of glory. So here we are. You can see we're getting a nice reduction on it, but you do want some form and shape to remember to remain even in the rhubarb. So if I press, they'll actually... Where's the other chopping board? That's a good question, wasn't it? I'm breaking things. Hang on. Let's pop that there. Why does she not stream art and pasta? It's a good question, my love.
Art and pasta.
Art and pasta. Well, you never know, convict. You know, things may occur. Oh, it's here. Right, hang on.
Okay.
You got it, sure? I've made a mess of the washing up and only done halfway. We will do pasta at some point. And I'll segue back again. So, we've got Lottie is doing a charity stream on the 17th. You all right?
It's all okay.
It's all okay. Don't panic, Mr. Mannering, don't panic. So, we're nearly there. In fact, let's stay here. 40 seconds. And it's going to be done. I've put very little sugar in, so it should be quite tart. Let's just have a taste and see how we're doing. Okay, that's good. Whoa, that's very tart indeed. And that's how I like it. Enter jokes here. I like my rhubarb tart. Let's rephrase that. Here we go. So I don't think it actually needs the 40 seconds. I'm going to turn this off now. We're going to let that cool. And then we're going to check on that again. In fact, through one. Perfect timing. There. Right. So that's the rhubarb done. And it's that easy. I encourage you, if you're ever going through a supermarket, and if they've got it on reduced, grab some rhubarb, grab yourself an orange. You'll have caster sugar in, I'm sure, so you won't even need to go and get that. And you've got water, and there you go. That's it. You've got stewed rhubarb. And I have it with my breakfast all the time. I have it with yogurt and have it with watermelon because you've got the freshness of the watermelon and then you've got the tartness of the rhubarb. You get a cold blast of yogurt. Kitten wants to know if you will ever do cookies. I will. In fact, do you know what? I'll come back to Lottie in a second and the plan for this week. The reason I will do... hello, Harvey. Are you all right? Harvey had a nosebleed suddenly and had to run off. You're okay now. If anyone ever needs to lurk, just type in !lurk and we shall wave you a little toodaloo until you're back. What was I saying? Cookies. Because I have yet to set any goals on the channel, and I know I should do. And when we... Oh, I'm glad to hear it, Harvey. That's good. When we get to a target that I will set, I'm thinking maybe 20 or something, by then I will have a food vac packer. And if folks are in the United Kingdom, to start with, we will do a giveaway of either, I'm mulling it over, it's either going to be stuffed cookies, so if you actually were to heat them up, you'd have a melt in the middle, almost like a bursting volcanic fondant pudding, but you'll have it in a cookie, or we'll do a giveaway of those cookies. And we'll also do tempered chocolate cookies. So what we'll do is, I'm thinking about how to do this, but I've not done tempered chocolate before. And so when it's hopefully colder and if we hit our targets, what we'll do is we'll have a flat cookie. We'll sort of shave the top slightly so that we get an even plate on the top. And what I'm thinking then is we'll do the fondant chocolate over the top of the cookie. And I'm thinking I'll have to make something, but I'm thinking maybe just two clean rulers, obviously, tape them together, and then we'll do a dressing, sort of a line down through the corner, and we'll either therefore have a cookie with tempered chocolate with a pistachio dash, or we will have cherry instead. So you could have, for example, maybe what's the amaretto cherry? That's the one, isn't it? Or a Kirsch cherry or something in the middle, and then with a cherry dash across the top. So you've got a sort of a filled tempered chocolate cookie, or we'll try something with pistachio. And then there'll be a separate one as well, which is if you're not a fan of chocolate particularly, you can just have a good old-fashioned cookie with a stuffed centre.
I think you should make madeleines.
I should make madeleines. Well, should we just make madeleines for the heck of it, rather than waiting to hit a target and a goal?
I really want madeleines.
Right, Mrs. L wants madeleines. We're going to add madeleines
You
into the
dip
mix.
those into chocolate. Lots of people dip those in.
I like dipping things into chocolate. It's good. So we're going to join Lottie on the 17th for her charity stream, and then the Wednesday after that, we're going to take you through a fish dish of lemon sole with crispy fish skins, and then we will also do another Rimworld. We're going to try and do that every Thursday. And now we're also going to throw in madeleines, and also we're going to do a Madeira cake soon. Oh, jolly good convict! I'll be joining you there. That's super. Right, so. Here, I'll just natter I completely forget what I'm doing. I'm recalculating because I've not got a massive amount of basil, so I need to just reapportion for our vegan pesto, because the recipe I've got, crack out the calculator, calls for 3 cups, which is 387 grams, of which I have 119. So that is 30% of the recommended ingredients. So I need 30% of our pine nuts at 43 grams, which gives us 12.9. Oops, sorry about that. Also, yes, sorry, Mrs. L, we're keeping very quiet because Omega has got a hangover.
Oh, sorry.
No, you're being very quiet. I'm realising I'm booming. Also, you have a lovely kitchen. We'll do a kitchen tour at some point, Kimberly. I've not done the washing up, so it's a bit of a mess. And we've moved it's always a mess. We'll do a clean and we'll do a sort of hello and take through one day. Not today, honestly. I've not done a very good job. I've not left it very clean at all. But thank you very much. It's very kind of you. Thank you. To be honest, I've got you on quite loud, so don't worry. Okay. Right, you are, Omega. So we've got the juice of a lemon, but really we want 30%. Doing your spy expenses. Falama has caught me. He knows I'm here with the cat. Hang on. Trip to Kyrgyzstan. Oh. Trip to Germany. How are you, Falama? Are you well? You having a good Sunday, my friend? I certainly hope so. You've caught me just reapportioning the pesto ingredients. We are letting our stewed rhubarb cool. Are you even cooking if there's no mess in the kitchen? It means, judging by the amount of mess I leave, I must be cooking all the time, or I'm just terribly messy.
Yes.
Yes is the is the answer that comes from the corner. So I need a third of the lemon. It calls for 2 large garlic cloves, so I think roughly translated, this one very small one will do us. So let's put that out the way. You certainly do, convict. You're quite right. I do my best, but I also cause chaos and havoc wherever I get. Ooh, a piece of melon has escaped. Probably written boobies on the calculator. I am, in fact, still 4 in my own head. 17.7 millilitres of olive oil, and then we want...
Did you get a good olive oil?
I did.
What did you get?
So only a quarter, effectively, of the salt. But the salt, however, because there's no cheese, will be what carries this. Right, that's maths time done. Now I'm wrecking the kitchen. I'm throwing things everywhere. What was I got? I think it's Bertolli, I think.
Oh, okay.
Wait, isn't that the car maker?
No.
No, have I got it right?
What car maker?
Isn't there a car maker called Bertolli? No? I'm showing a lack of knowledge here. Anyway, right. So, let's see. Because what we are going to try and do, in fact, I'll try and just rough chop this a little bit, is we're also going to try and do this without any equipment, because I wanted to demonstrate that it could be done. So,
Any equipment?
any electrical equipment.
What? You're going to do it all by hand?
I'm going to do it
You're
with...
not doing good.
I'm going to do it with the hand zhuzher.
Well, that counts as equipment.
Not electric equipment, though.
Yeah, that's electric equipment. You have to plug it in.
This
Go
one.
with that.
Yeah, with the...
I'm not sure that it will be very good if you do.
Right, I tell you what, let's try the first handful then with our... What do you call it again?
Hand blender?
Hand blender.
I don't know.
So we're going to just try and do this and just... Maybe as well, we've got plenty of ingredients, clearly, saved for the basil. So, wash that leaf. So, just put a little bit in there. Whoops. Convict says he likes boobs. Well, he likes boobs. So, how much do we need? 12.9 grams. There we go. So, let's drop a few in there. And then let's do just a little bit of lemon juice to start with. 1/3 of a lemon. Save pips.
This is so much better
Than the other one we bought.
than the Pesto one.
Yes, we found our local grocer does an excellent.
It's an excellent melon.
He has an excellent melon. Our local grocer. Hang on, matron. Oh, matron. Here we are again. Anybody ever watched? Am I showing my age here? As Hello, Hello. I was in fits at Hello, Hello. Oh, hello. Someone has asked for a sonnet. Who's asked for a sonnet, please? Ah, right, hang on. Reading time, folks. Hang on. Let's pick one. Let's try and find one that matches a... here we go.
Because reading is what?
Because what?
Because reading is what?
Well, I'm confused. What?
RuPaul always, when they open the library, and then he always goes, because reading is what? Fundamental.
Oh, fundamental. Oh, right. Okay. Falama asks, how are you today?
Me?
Yes, you.
I'm good.
You're
I'm
good.
happy. It's a wonderful Sunday.
Mrs. Owl is good and happy and having a lovely, lovely Sunday. Probably nothing to do with me, and I shall try not to ruin it. No, you're not. You're not. I'm trying to find here a good one that matches a good Sunday. Hang on.
Oh, are you reading Keats's ones or?
I'm not quite sure which one I've opened, but let's...
You should do Shall I Compare Thee by...
Shall I compare thee to a summer's day?
Thou art more lovely and more temperate.
And
Rough wings do shoot the darling birds, isn't it? That's the one that I know.
I found one called Idleness, which is not quite what we've got, but it's a gentle Sunday. So here we are, folks, as requested by Convict. I give you the brief sonnet entitled Idleness. The street was brisk, an animated scene, and every man was on some business bent, absorbed in some employment or intent, preoccupied, intelligent and keen. True, some were dwarfed and some were pale and lean, but to the sorriest visage labour lent a light, transfiguring with her sacrament the abject countenance and slavish mien, but one he shambled aimlessly along, ashamed and drunk. So I have ashamed and shrunk from the abstracted ken of passers-by, with conscience struck recoil, a pariah, a leper in the throng, an alien from the commonwealth of men, a stranger to the covenant of toil. And there you are. Shall pop that there in case anyone wants to redeem another one. And now we're back to pesto. Get all sorts on this stream. So I'm going to use the end that I didn't use for the orange. Just give a little bit of garlic. Just a very little amount, because if Mrs. Owl is correct and we get a poor result here, then we will switch out and get... That's very kind of you, thank you. Thank you very much, Kimberly. So I like this because it means that I can actually stream and do this without deafening everybody, which is quite nice for me. So here we go. Philama only tried pesto for the first time this year. Ah! Well, what's going to be interesting about this one, Philama, is the lack of any cheese. So let's just start by... Well, that's going to make a thick pesto. So let's... Oops, Daisy. And not forget, of course, our salt, which is quite important. So let's just get ourselves... You're getting head teacher vibes, Kimberly. No, you know what, I don't give away my job, but no, funnily enough, I've never vaulted the esteemed heights of teaching. Convict, really? You never had it? Goodness gracious. I can recommend it if you ever want to try it. Get yourself some fresh tagliatelle. And just have that with a little pesto. Very authentically Italian, that. I then used pesto as part of my pretzels when I... Good Philama applied for the bake-off. How did you do, Philama? Or can you tell us? I always wished that I'd done it when it was back with the BBC. I think I'm too old in the tooth now, I think, I liked the gentle touch, which is also why when I did that little video of what you can expect coming up, that was the music, because it is so gentle, and that's really what I want people to come here for, really. It's a nice, gentle place to be.
I've done half of the melon and it's filled the tub.
So you might need more tub. And that's the wrong oil. Hang on, don't use that one. So, Napolina, that was the one. You're making a good cooking teacher. Oh, bless you. Red pesto is really good. You like the red one. Maybe, Omega, if you give this a try, maybe I can convert you to the green one as well. But you're not...
What's in the red one?
That's a good point. What is in red pesto? Is it peppers? I think it's peppers. I think. So apparently the trick here is to apply a little oil at a time. So I'm just going to not do an Ainsley Harriott level drizzle, which is always known to be fairly mighty. Ah, miss him. What was it he did? What was, Ready, Steady, Cook. Of course it was. So here we go. So a little bit of oil. And if anyone ever wants to buy one of these, I'll put the link in our Discord. Oh yes, Omega is a fan of the hot foods. Yes, indeed he is. And watched us probably dying horribly as we did our I could probably just possibly eyeball this just a little bit. I'll do a bit more pine. If you went on Bake Off, you'd have to show your face too. Or I'd have to admit that I went on it.
And then not tell you.
But yes, but
You
not.
could be Norman.
Well, yes, was I secretly Norman, folks, from the BBC one? I'd have to tell you after the fact. But then again, I suppose you'd recognise my voice, wouldn't you? Yeah.
I spend the season watching it thinking, it sounds familiar, but I can't place it.
Right, I think, because I've taken an American vegan recipe, I'm going to start applying. Kimberly thinks I'm the leader of Anonymous.
We are Legion.
We are Legion. We are Legion in our pesto making. Right, so well, that's quite a good consistency. Let's just try and get some out on the.
Tasting as you go.
I'm going to taste now that I think it looks as though I want it to start.
You're going to taste with a massive tablespoon.
It is, in fact, the 1 spoon I had here. So, in fact, here we are.
That is
folks.
nowhere near pesto consistency.
No, it's much thicker, but I do like the look of it. So
I think it needs more oil.
More oil. Got the right amount of pine nuts. I want to squeeze more lemon. So, spot more lemon.
If this is the consistency that you're aiming for.
Yeah. But I mean, I think I'm not going to get that exact consistency.
You would if you were doing it in a food processor.
Yeah, maybe.
No, yes, definitely.
Okay, well in that case, maybe we will try it with the food processor. But also, I may then give poor Omega an aneurysm in his hangover. There we go. So let's try that a bit more. And maybe, actually, you know what it could do with a bit of pepper, actually. Please, thank you. That is an impressive amount of melon that we've got going. Convict is sub during the... Hang on, have I missed a sub, sorry? Add a little bit of pepper. Sorry, I'm big about who have I missed? Sorry. Hello, Jessie. How are you? Welcome on in. You've caught us just in time. No, Mrs. Owl is not impressed that I'm using the hand rather than the electric. However, it is a valid point that we will get a completely different result. And I've noticed it's starting to get really hot down here. Shall I open a window?
It's 24.5 degrees.
Oh, that's warm enough for me in this apron. Ooh. There we go. Oh, that's better. Bit of a breeze. Right, I've added a bit more lemon, a bit more seasoning. So I'm going to just try that again. Let's do a side by side. Hang on. So here we go. That's our... And here is an... Don't have to pay attention to the branding, but I happen to just be passing a Marks and Spencer's. So... Not just any old pesto. So you can see here, if I get it in front of the camera correct... Oh, it's not focusing. Hang on. There we go. So it's a much more pureed consistency. It's a duller green. You just ate the whole bone. Just... Oh. So let me just, in fact I could do with some water. Hang on, water, here we go. I'll just clean palette and just, let's see about the balance. Was that my face in the spoon? Is it actually? Just stand up further, right. Ooh. I have a spoon face. Okay, so try that one. What am I missing? Oil, garlic, and salt. Basically, this needs an oomph more seasoning in all of it. I'm slowly face revealing, aren't I, by accident? I shall have to sign you all to the Official Secrets Act. You're all in it now, folks. We're all in it together now. So let's add a bit more garlic, a bit more salt, a bit more lemon, a bit more still. And thank you all for the heads up, by the way. Much appreciated. So let's go. Thank you very much, Convict, for popping those up. Falama's got a plan. He's going to go and find a crime scene artist and get all the various little snippets of my face emerging to make a reveal. But Falama, what if my real job is that crime scheme sketch artist? It clearly isn't if I can't pronounce it. There we go. Let's see how that's shaping up. Here we go. It's better with increased salt, but equally, if this recipe is meant to be a healthy one, simply by adding more salt in.
It's not meant to be healthy, it's just meant to not have cheese in.
That's true enough. I wonder what it could take more of. I don't suppose you'd be happy to give it a taste and tell me. Mrs. L's got a phenomenal palate. It's much better than mine. Hang on. And that's not. I'm not bigging her up just because she's here and she's lovely. It's genuinely the case.
I'll stop you.
Oh, I get a bit of melon. Sorry, that was I get a bit of melon. Here's Mrs. L. And we've still got our. See what you think. Setting aside the texture.
Tastes nice to me.